morning, everybody. My name is Karla, and you've reached my FlossTube channel, KarlaBeingCrafty, where I talk about mostly cross-stitch and crochet and machine knitting, but sometimes other crafts that I enjoy and a little bit of life thrown in. So today is Sunday, November 23rd. It's FlossTube number 306. It's about 11:20 in the morning here in Long Beach, California. And I want to say welcome. If this is your first time finding my channel, I hope that you like what you see, want to hit like and subscribe, all that good stuff. And if this is not your first time, if you are one of my regular viewers, thank you so much for coming back and sharing this time with me. You know it means so much to me. And I do enjoy doing these videos. I almost didn't come on today because honestly I don't have a lot to show you. It is the weekend before Thanksgiving, so I have been sort of mentally focused on that, and I've really only worked on 2 projects this past week, but I did still want to show you this project because one of them is a big finish, and I figured it'd be better to come on and do, you know, a 15-minute check-in than no video at all. So honestly, it's like I didn't even feel like really putting on makeup. So I look a little bit of a mess this morning. Please forgive that. Delilah is in the background as usual. Delilah, there she is. So we'll see if she comes over and decides to get involved, or if she's too busy looking out the window. She has a little spot that she looks out, and I got the window open just a little bit, and she loves sticking her face and getting her fresh air, and she's been extra cuddly this morning, which makes it really hard to get out of bed. She's not a super cuddly cat, but she's learning to be. I think as she's maturing, she's getting a little bit more cuddly, and it was hard this morning because she did decide to be cuddly. So anyway, as I said, Thanksgiving, you know, American Thanksgiving is this coming Thursday. My roommate and I, Lorraine, are having really just her daughter and her son-in-law over for dinner, but we're cooking, so that's kind of exciting and fun. I haven't made I used to make Thanksgiving every year. It was my favorite holiday. I guess it still is kind of, because I just love the food, and but I haven't cooked for other people, you know, made a big meal in several years now. So, but I'm not really worried about it. Lorraine and I kind of decided to divide and conquer, and so I'm sort of in charge of the turkey and the stuffing, and she's gonna do like the yams and the vegetables and stuff like that, and we're just not gonna worry too much about it, you know. We're just gonna kind of take it easy. And so the turkey was put in the refrigerator this morning to start defrosting. We got a butterball because A, they're all on sale right now, and B, butterballs usually turn out pretty good. So we got butterball. I got all the ingredients to make the stuffing that I like to make with chestnuts, and the one thing I couldn't get so far was fresh sage because everybody was out of it. But Lorraine said she's putting in a grocery order this week for some things, so I asked her to add fresh sage to her list if she can get it. So I've kind of been sort of in a mental cooking mode. Yesterday I made 4 banana breads, really because Lorraine had a little mishap when she put in a grocery order. She was meant to order 3 bananas, and she ended up with 3 bunches of bananas. So we had bananas coming out of our ears. She eats like a banana a day or half a banana a day. I don't really eat bananas, so the bananas were sitting there getting yucky. She also likes them she likes them almost still green. She doesn't like them ripe at all. So she had to throw some of them away because we were getting the little, you know, fruity fly bugs in the kitchen, but the rest of them she threw in the freezer. So I had 9 bananas in the freezer to make banana bread with, and I put a big batch of banana bread together. So had that for breakfast. It was really good. So yeah, today my plan is to make some sugar-free cranberry sauce. I really personally like cranberry sauce out of the can. I really do. but just trying to a little bit, you know, watch my carbs, watch my sugar and everything. And I know that I'm going to be eating so much stuff that is going to raise my blood sugar this week, this month, but especially Thursday. And I do like cranberry sauce with my turkey a lot, so I figured that's one way that I can kind of control the sugar. So I'm making a sugar-free cranberry sauce. I've never made it before, but recipe looks pretty easy. So I'm gonna try that today, and then I'll have a nice batch of sugar-free cranberry sauce to eat with my turkey. And yeah, I think that's the only thing that we need to do to prep. I already ordered the dessert that I'm contributing is I'm getting some caramel and chocolate covered apples from well, it's actually Rocky Mountain Chocolate Factory, which I think is a chain. So I don't know if they're in other places, but they make these wonderful dipped apples. And I discovered many years ago that that is really kind of a cool Thanksgiving dessert that is easy. Everybody likes it, and it's kind of like a nibbly thing. So if you're playing games or watching movies or watching sports or whatever after the meal and you want a little sweet, but you're not ready for the pies and everything, those apples are really good. So so I ordered those apples to be delivered on Wednesday. And yeah, I think all my prep is pretty good at this point. But yeah, I'm definitely in cooking sort of mode in my head. I mean, I don't know actually if I'm going to cook anything today for dinner. We might do some door dashing, but yeah, that's sort of where my head's been at. Weather-wise, you know, last week I told you guys we were having storms, which was very unusual for Southern California. It did rain for like a week, pretty steady. Then we had a couple days of just cloudy skies and then a little bit more rain. And now it seems that the sun is out and it's gonna stay out for at least a week. Our temps here are kind of like high 60s, low 70s. So it feels like fall. That's definitely a Southern California fall. You know, we don't get too much colder than that during the day. So yeah, so it does feel like fall around here to whatever extent we have it. And I'm looking forward to Thanksgiving. And you know, I can't believe it's the end of the year though. It just feels really weird. But I'm going to definitely enjoy the 4-day weekend next weekend. Definitely need that. And yeah, so that's kind of where life is at today. So as far as what I have to show you, again, not a whole hell of a lot, but I do have a big cross stitch finish, which if you've been watching the last couple weeks, it's not gonna be a big surprise because I was very close. So I did finish Glendon Place All Hallows Eve, and it's kind of big, so it's gonna be hard to show all at once. So I'm gonna kind of fold it up and show you in bits, I guess. So as I have mentioned before, when I started this project has been years in the making, because this is one of the first things I started back in 2019 when I started cross stitching. I saw this pattern on eBay, I think it was, because it was out of print at that point, but I did get it on eBay. I really liked it, and I got this fabric, which is Jewel from Picture This Plus. It's my first time, you know, getting a Picture This Plus, which is kind of a floppy Aida, but it's so pretty. And I had not seen anybody do this, you know, of all the pictures online, they're all like gray and stuff like that, and I just love this purple color. So and I use this project sort of as an experiment, a fiber experiment, if you will. So I use this project is where I used a lot of different fibers for the first time. So at the very top in the moon, there is glow in the dark thread. The werewolf The werewolf has Whisper, which I kind of learned how to use Whisper, and this was how not to use Whisper. But that had Whisper thread, which I'd never used before. The snake in the middle had satin. I used a satin thread in him. And all the colors, I just pulled them. You know, I pulled what I wanted. You know, I mean, I didn't really follow. I followed a little bit of what the pattern said, but most of it I just pulled my own colors. The ghost is Etoile. The skeleton has glow-in-the-dark thread again. The vampire has sparkly yarn, red sparkly yarn, which I had, by the time I did the vampire, I had used sparkly yarn, but I got these metal stars from Michael's a long time ago when I was doing a lot of beading, and when I was trying to find buttons or something to use, because the original pattern has buttons. It also has the stars charted, but then I remembered I had these. They're a little bit big. I had to kind of squish them a little bit, but I still really love how they look. And apparently this the font that was used on this was created for this pattern. It was kind of a fun font to do. So yeah, so as I said, this was many years in the making. One of the very first patterns that I started when I started stitching, and it is done. Of course, it got done after Halloween, and I don't know exactly how I'm going to finish it. It's kind of big, and so I don't think I'm going to frame it. I think I might put it on bars. I'm going to just iron a backing on, and then put it on the bars to make a wall hanging. And I might just leave it out all the time because I really like it. And I'm really, really happy that I got this done. Like I said, this has been in my whip pile for so long. And so it feels really great to get that done. So speaking of cross stitch, I realized I had it on my list here and went right past it. Last week I did set a giveaway for this cross stitch ornament magazine. That's another reason that I definitely wanted to do a video today, because I wanted to get this out to the person who won. So if they do want to make some ornaments, that hopefully they'll get this sooner rather than later and be able to make something. So I did a little random comment picker, and the person who won this is Susie Marshall 804. So congratulations, Susie. So just contact me. Either my email is listed below, or you can send me a message through Instagram, either one, and give me your address, and then I will stick this in an envelope to you when I get that address. So congratulations, Susie. Okay, and then the other thing that I worked on this week was my crochet poncho, which is a pattern from Pretty Peaceful Susan Kennedy on YouTube. And I'm doing this with mandala yarn in Troll. Well, that actually isn't going to show you what the whole thing looks like. And I got to my second cake. So this cake, because it was wound slightly different than the first cake, I had to pull the core out. So this is actually going to go on the outside. So this will be used last. So I started with the darker blue to follow the pattern of the first cake. And then when I get to the third cake, this one is wound backwards, so I will have to go from the outside. I will probably have to pull a little, I'll probably have to pull the core and start the core first and then go from the outside on this one, because it's backwards or opposite backwards, I don't know. Anyway, so this is the poncho that I am working on. Basically, you just make a very, very, very long rectangle, and then you fold it in half, and you sew all but like 12 inches, right? And then it basically is an overgarment. So this was, the pattern called for this to be just done in double crochet, just the whole way. And the double crochet goes pretty fast, but I thought, you know, I want to do something to punch it up. So what I decided to do is, I'd never done lemon peel stitch before, so I decided to try that. So I did 6 rows of the double crochet, because I had already started it when I decided I wanted to add another stitch as well. So I did 6 rows of the double crochet, and then I did 4 rows of the lemon peel stitch, and I thought that would be good because it'd be like a 10-row thing, and I think I'm going to do 50 rows, or depending on how close that is to the end of the third ball, I might just finish it, but whatever. So yeah, so I'm doing 6 rows of double crochet and then 4 rows of lemon peel stitch. Lemon peel stitch is just alternating double crochet and single crochet, and then when you flip it, you know, you're doing the opposite. So you're doing a double crochet in the single crochet space and a single crochet in the double crochet space, and it makes sort of this nice little texture. And yeah, so so far I have, you know, double crochet, lemon peel stitch, double crochet, lemon peel stitch, double crochet. And I think it just adds enough of a little bit of a change to kind of add interest. And I don't know why I've got this little jog out here. Obviously I did something wrong right there, but because it didn't happen the next time I did lemon peel stitch, so. But anyway, I've been working on this. It's actually pretty, I don't want to say mindless, but it's relaxing because because since it's mostly double crochet, you don't have to really think at all when you're doing it. It takes a while because this is such a long, thing. I mean, that's doubled. So yeah, but it has gone fairly fast. The lemon peel stitch is not as fast as the double crochet, because I have to, be talking to myself in my head the whole time, like double crochet, single crochet, double crochet, single crochet. Basically that's only on the first row of it. Then after that, the 2 stitches look different, so they're easy to know what you're doing. But the colors I think are really pretty, and I'm gonna enjoy this. So yeah, I'm on the darker blue. No, I have one more darker, the very, very, very dark blue, which is almost a charcoaly color. Actually, it's kind of like a really dark purple, but I don't know. Anyway, I have that, and then I'll get into the purple, which is this color here. So that is what I've worked on most this week. I mean, I worked on All Hallows Eve a couple days to get it finished, and then I've just been working on this when I've been doing crafting in the evening. I did open the package of that owl hanger that I'm making for Lorraine, or my intention is to make it for her for the holidays. I didn't start it yet. I just kind of set it up. I took it out of the package. I put it in a project bag. I sorted the threads and stuff, and I did look at the instructions. It doesn't look like it's going to be that difficult to do. The more difficult part of it is going to be that I have to do it privately here. I do tend to hang out in my room sometimes on the weekends. Anyway, so I have 4-day weekend next weekend. So I might take one of those days and just kind of hole up in my room and work on it and see how far I can get, so that it stays a surprise. So other than that haul, I didn't really have any haul this week. My plans are just kind of to keep going, you know, pull out what I feel like pulling out. Cross stitch wise, I might see what project is calling to me that maybe I can get a finish on before the end of the year. I'm thinking maybe blackberries. Just because, I don't know. Yeah. Is this the blackberries? Yeah. So it was out. So, but I do love doing Riolis. So I think, you know, I could probably make a good dent on this, and get it finished, which would be nice. So that's how far I am on that so far. So yeah, I think maybe I'll work on this afternoon. I'll go sit and watch some TV with Lorraine and before I do my cranberries, and work on this. So yeah, that sounds like a plan. So yeah, that's basically my plan, is just to kind of do what calls to me, which is really what I do anyway. I don't have any specific plans or specific ideas on what I want to work on this week. I have a feeling this week is going to be, until after Thanksgiving, it's not going to be that crafty, because I'm going to have my mind focused on Thanksgiving and Thanksgiving stuff. So I mean, I have time today to do some crafting, and maybe tomorrow and Tuesday night, Wednesday night, I'm going to be prepping. Thursday, you know, is Thanksgiving. So then I have the rest of the weekend to do some stuff. So I'll let you know on Sunday what I got done. So until I see you guys again, I hope that if you celebrate Thanksgiving, that you have a wonderful day. I hope you have delicious food. I'm actually, one of the things I'm excited about cooking is that we'll have the leftovers. That's something that going to other people's for Thanksgiving is always kind of a bummer that you don't have the leftovers. So I'm kind of excited to have the leftovers. You know, like I said, I haven't cooked a Thanksgiving for other people in probably a good 7-8 years now. When I lived in my apartment in Anaheim, I had a Friendsgiving. So I did a big Thanksgiving dinner like the day after Thanksgiving. And then I spent several Thanksgivings with my brother and his family, so I didn't cook Thanksgiving then. And they're also like, and I'll be interested if you guys want to let me know. So Thanksgiving for me, I find it, I like watch cooking shows and all that kind of stuff. And I find it very interesting to watch shows where they're making like interesting Thanksgivings and doing different sorts of recipes using, fall flavors and whatever. I find that very interesting. And like a friend of mine, she and her partner every year, they order their Thanksgiving dinner, and they'll order it like from very different, like a Moroccan this and a tagine that, and and they find that really fun. For me, the thing I like about Thanksgiving is I like having things the way that I've had them. I don't really want fancy stuff. I want a regular roast turkey. I want the stuffing the way I like making it, with the chestnuts, just regular stuffing. I like those things that I grew up eating. And that's part of it, is the nostalgia of it. There were so many years that I couldn't really enjoy Thanksgiving because I worked in retail, and Thanksgiving was like the only day off. So you were exhausted going into it, and you knew that the day after was going to be starting, you know, a very tiring and stressful time when you're in retail. And I was in retail management. I have a jewelry store for many years. So Thanksgiving, you know, I was never involved in the prep of it, and you know, it was just eating it and whatever. But then when I stopped working retail and I was able to cook Thanksgiving, I really enjoyed doing that for so many years. And then, you know, families change, and my brother got married, and you know, things just become different. And then when I got married, we were always over at my mother-in-law's, and yeah, you know, things are different, and I didn't get to do what I wanted to do, and now I can again, and that's kind of nice. So I like having just the way that I always had it. I don't want to make fancy, you know, different things. I like roasted Brussels sprouts and yams, whether, you know, baked or candied, whatever, just, you know, yams. And so yeah, I enjoy that aspect. I'm going to enjoy spending time with the people that I'm spending time with. It's going to be very relaxing. I don't know what we're going to do after. Lorraine's daughter is not like a game kind of person, or, you know, whatever. I got actually some wooden puzzles, some jigsaw puzzles, but I got some small ones because I know Lorraine and I would enjoy doing it, but I wasn't sure if her daughter would, and I don't think she would. So I didn't want to get like a big family size puzzle because I don't think they would want to do that. I mean, that'd be something that I'd love to do at Thanksgiving, but yeah, so anyway, it should be a pretty fun day, and I'm looking forward to it, and I'm enjoying the prep too. I'm enjoying planning for it and getting the stuff that we need, and thinking about what day I need to do what, and you know, all that kind of stuff. So anyway, I hope you guys have a fun experience as well, and don't, you know, get too stressed. We just got a new microwave yesterday because I was melting butter for the banana bread I was making, and I was talking to Lauren in the kitchen, and the microwave started making this weird, like it was flashing and making this weird noise, and she's like, "Is there metal in there?" She goes, "That's what it does when it has metal." I'm like, "No, I was melting butter in a Pyrex with no metal on it." And she's like, "Oh," and so we were both like, "Unplug it. There's something wrong with it." So it was a very inexpensive microwave that she got about a year ago. She's like, "It's time for a new microwave." So she ordered a microwave yesterday, and it came last night, and we plugged it in. So now we have a new microwave, and yeah, so because it's like, oh no, like I very rarely use the microwave, but she uses the microwave every day, so it's like she needs to have a microwave. But it's fun. We're like, you know, we're just planning, and I'm enjoying that. So anyway, I've been chit-chatting at you for almost half an hour now, and considering I only had 2 things to show you, that means I've done a lot of talking. I'm sorry if you don't enjoy that kind of thing. I guess I'll get more thumbs downs than I normally do. But anyway, I hope you guys have a good week, and until I see you again, remember to be content, be kind, and be crafty. This is Karla. Bye-bye.